1.1 Big Al here. We got a great event happening tonight. And I say event because, yeah, it's on TV and yeah, it's on BET, but it is very, very important. And I have the gentleman from the hometown who made the whole thing happen. Tell everybody who you are.
Mike Mirangu. I'm one of the producers on Second Coming, the BET special.
Nice, nice. So this is, just seeing like the promo for this, I was inspired. And by the way, the first part of this has already aired last week, so this is part 2. It's going to happen tonight.
Right. It's a 2-part series. Last Friday was episode 1. Mm-hmm. Tonight is episode 2, the final, and it's going to rerun throughout the coming weeks. Okay. Leading up to the election, but it's a 2-part series, 1 hour each Friday. That's
amazing. So to get it on BET. Talk about like the star power that's involved with the project. I mean, there's a lot of folks that's down with it.
Absolutely. We shot for 6 months, and we basically have we've covered the BET Awards and got Spike Lee, Samuel Jackson, and we followed the Rock the Bells tour, and we were able to get like DMX, Eve, Common. We got Snoop in there. We got a lot of star power, political. We got Kerry Washington. Nice. So there's a lot of black star power in there.
Nice. So I know Common usually, he's usually well versed and he's down for that. DMX, how'd you get that pulled together? That is amazing.
Well, DMX was on. We were following the Rock the Bells tour, and they had like 40 artists. Nas, DMX, Common, everybody. So we seen him walking, and actually. To go back a little ways, DMX gave me my first job in when I left Sacramento.
Wow.
I was a cameraman for him. And one of my buddies had an XL1, so I got to LA and they were like, hey, DMX needs a camera. And so, Corey had lent me his XL1, and I started shooting. He was shooting a movie called Cradle to the Grave. And I did all the behind-the-scenes camera work as they were making the movie. So that's how we first met. So when I saw him, and I had my BET laminate, and all, he was like, "Man, you got a job." Like, yeah, man, you kicked it off for me.
Yeah. And by the way, put the camera over. Shout out to my man right there, Corey Jackson. He's made it happen. So big shouts out to Corey Jackson right there. So, what type of access did you have? Do you have any access to the president at all, as far as in the production of this whole thing?
Well, what happened, as we all know, in '08. There was a lot of people who couldn't really see a black president being elected. Mm-hmm. And I think back in the day, BET kind of was pulling for Hillary because no one expected this guy, Barack Hussein Obama, to be elected. So, and everyone was like, well, it could happen. And then when it did, everyone was kind of really blown away. And BET said, hey, 2012, we want to have access. So there was a production company called Brick City who's produced this. They did a series on Sundance following Cory Booker, the mayor of New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. So and it won Emmys, Peabody, and so BET called the production company. Mark Levin's the director and executive producer of this project, and his partner Mark Benjamin, and they basically said, "Hey, we want this. Can you do this with Obama?" And the first thing we were like, well, I don't know if BET in the White House, I don't know, let's try. And having access, I mean, they woke up every day with Cory Booker and almost lived with him. And to do that with the president, of course, is impossible. So what we did was let's find some grassroots people who are, kind of pulling for the Obama and doing something, And so one of the groups was a brother and sister team. Named Brandon and L'Oreal Broussard, who do the Barack the Vote.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And one of our associate producers, who's sitting right here,
all right.
Victoria Beeks, was actually working with him and said, hey, this is, this group of kids that are doing this amazing thing. In '08, they printed these shirts, raised like $1 million, and donated like half the proceeds to the campaign. And then Mark went out and found a gentleman in Chicago, a grassroots organizer by the name of Charles Perry, who was incarcerated for like 15 years. And he was released right at the 2008 when Obama was kind of sworn into office. Yeah. And he just said, I'm going to commit my life to doing something, you know what I mean? And then the fourth, there was another group in North Carolina Her name is Tarsha Williams, and she's has 4 generations of women that live in her house. Her grandmother, mother, and daughter, and they're going to the polls. And so we followed like grassroots people who are like, hey, you know, I might have money, but I can at least motivate the base and try something. So we started shooting. 6 months later. Wow. You know, we had magic. And
now we have the show tonight, 6 o'clock p.m. on BET.
Yep.
So listen, I'm amazed because we deal with a lot of people motivating folks to register to vote, you know, no matter what side of the fence you're on. And my whole thing has always been like, don't not do anything and then get mad because nothing's being done. That's that's stupidity in my book.
Right.
What type of, in the making of this production, what type of maybe amazing or maybe crazy things you saw as far as the Get Out the Vote movement was concerned?
It was very interesting because when we shot, you know, we were kind of following. We live in LA, so you know, Obama comes out there to raise money with the political Hollywood, you know, the rich elitists, as they say. But as we were following them, we kind of like knew, you know, that crowd is always going to vote for him. But then we went into the hood, and we went to like South Central LA, Compton, and we just man on the street interviews, and you'd be surprised at the backlash, especially when he voted for same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
The backlash in like the black church community and everything was like really mind-blowing to us, and and the people were just so adamant. One guy we interviewed was like, you know, this is horrible, you know, the gay issue, and you know, I can't believe he did this. This is deplorable. And then he goes, by the way, my daughter's gay. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? Just you know, and then he was like, well, you know, I don't know how to, after we turned the camera off, he was like, I don't know how to deal with this, you know. I'm like, well, you know, a lot of people that you're born gay or whatever, and to us, it's just, a lot of people were kind of comparing it to the civil rights movement, you believe it or not, but it is a right to, you know, it's a civil right, to live in however you want to live, you know what I mean? So I can see the argument on both sides, but that was like really the tipping point in the black community when that happened. Everything else was like, you know,
everything else was fine, but
that one thing was like a powder keg. I mean, it started all kinds of stuff, and you know, other than that, you know, everyone's still complaining about jobs and stuff like that. But you know, I think the president is trying to, you know, do his best to get people back to work, and you know, we see a lot of the people on the right who are just, you kind of feel like the Republicans wanted the jobless numbers to go up just so they can point and complain.
Right.
So, you know,
any fuel for the fire.
Anything that they can latch onto and go, hey, look, you know. So it's interesting.
So in both of those cases, your documentary kind of exposes both sides of the issue, especially with the backlash, and then something deeply personal as, hey, with my daughter, you know, and the job numbers and the Republican pushback for the whole thing. That's kind of exposed in.
Yeah, you kind of see that organically. Like what we did as producers, we wanted to be like a fly on the wall. And when you're doing these docu-series, the producers can't really jump in there and craft story or anything. You're just kind of following, you know, people's regular lives. And as you're following them, all these issues just kind of organically, you know, come up. And it was like really interesting to watch and document.
Oh, good stuff. So the show tonight, BET, 6 o'clock here. Now you had you guys had a big event the night before. How received was that? You guys had a viewing party for it.
Absolutely. Well, the 916 initiative, you know, Corey Jackson and Craig are putting it on. Put on a screening at the Guild Theater.
Oh, by the way, it's Craig Jackson right there, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Jackson. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And Craig was the host, and, you know, he could kind of tell us how it got set up and everything.
Well, first of all, Big Al, understand that this second coming is going to air on BET tonight at 6 p.m. And you guys were talking earlier, a lot of people were like, when you said BET, oh, you don't know what's going on. Understand that BET News is coming back big and strong. This isn't your old BET, you know, back in the day it was BET uncut videos. Oh, you remember the nasty, scratchy, you didn't want to, if you watched it.
Man, I loved the video.
Bro, I know, but look,
there's nothing wrong with it,
there's nothing wrong with it, but Al, there was like a 43% chance that you might get some sort of bacteria bacterial infection just watching.
Just
watching. But this is the new improved beach, so don't be afraid to come watch this tonight at 6 p.m. That's all I'm saying.
Now, and also, how can people see part 1 in case they missed it?
Part 1, what we're going to do is they're going to rerun this. So I think starting next week, there's plans to rerun it, I think 3 or 4 times. But, you know, I think we'll set up a link and send it out to Corey and get it over to you guys. So, you know, your listeners can go on your website and pull the link down, and you know, we'll figure something out.
And Big Al, understand this, okay? This is like it's a whole movement. I mean, people say movement all the time, but nothing really moves, okay?
Yeah.
But we're trying to move this. Understand, we're all from Sacramento.
Yes.
This cat graduated from Valley High School. Don't hold that against him at all, okay? I'm from Johnson. My brother's from Johnson. We're all me and Quantas, we grew up in the same neighborhood, okay?
Yeah.
We all went to Hollywood. I've been doing television shows forever. ABC, CBS, BET, I Love Money, 30 Seconds of Fame is still in the air now. I work with Lisa Lynn. We started here. Remember Lisa Lynn?
Yeah, Lisa Lynn.
And Marcus Allen. We all did this, okay? So we go down to LA, hone our skills, and now we're going to come back to Sacramento and start doing television here out of Sacramento. Trust, it's going to happen. That's the ultimate 916 Hollywood initiative.
Yeah.
And we're going to need you on board to roll with us and make it happen.
Hey, I'm down, man. Sign me up. I'm not
Well,
scared.
you're doing it
You
now.
see, mark it down. Mark it down. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
We did the first show.
Yes, we ready, man. This is how can people get a hold of basically all of you collectively?
Corey, get on the mic. Watch this. Watch
Tell everybody.
this.
Tell everybody.
Don't be nervous.
Oh no, I'm very nervous right now. But yeah, no, you know, first of all, hit up Big Al. You know, Big Al is connected to all of us. He's connected to Sacramento. You know, he's a powerful force. So hit up Big Al. We're all on Facebook, 916 Hollywood Initiative. Just let our voice be heard. Let's just come together. Let's create natural collaborative partnerships, and let's move forward in a uniform protocol manner. So we truly appreciate you, Big Al.
Hey, it's my pleasure,
Yeah,
man.
the
Thank y'all.
dictionary, what did that mean?
I don't know, Malcolm.
He wrote out the $50 words on there. That's how you know they're connected.
I need Google and thesaurus.
Exactly. Guys, thank y'all so much. The big show tonight, the second coming, tonight, BET, 6 o'clock. Also, you'll also send the link. You can also see where you can see part 1 on our website, v1011fm.com, as well as get a hold of these guys. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Let me just say that. I go get an ice cream and they're waiting in front of me.
With a camera.
With the hat on, with the scoop.
Camera.
You know, so just check this out. Thank you guys so much for coming through.
Thank you.
And exposing us to this. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Sir.
V101.1.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So good stuff.